Hi, everybody. My name's McGuire, and I'm here in my two-car garage with my 1983 Chevy C10 pickup truck. It's my very first project vehicle ever, and I use Grok AI to help me figure out how to do this build and restore to get this project truck up and running for me and my boys. The problem we're tackling today is when I got this truck, none of the lights were working. None of the gauges were working, so I ended up buying a whole new wiring harness, a Speedway 22 circuit universal harness. The problem I'm having today is my parking lights. The fuse keeps blowing and my parking lights aren't working. That affects my dash lights and everything. So I'm using Grok AI to help me troubleshoot, and let's see how it goes. So this is my Grok app on my phone. Um, I've been using it to help me with the installation for the Speedway 22 circuit wiring harness. And I've given it all of the information of my project truck. So now I only have to refer to the truck as the project truck. It knows it's a 1983 C10, Chevy C10. So here I'm telling it that I'm testing the voltage on my headlight switch, and the orange wire number 40, that is the fuse, has no voltage. So comes back, it tells me everything about the number 40 wire, which is the orange wire. It tells me that since I'm measuring no voltage on it, that something's happening along that circuit, and it's affecting the gray dash lights too, gray dash light wire as well. It goes on to tell me why it happens with a harness, and it tells me the common issues. Blown or missing fuse, I'm going to check that. Main battery feed, I don't think it's that. Loose or corroded connections, yes, maybe. I could have it wired incorrectly, yeah. And then, because it knows it's a Speedway 22 circuit wiring harness, it also, I've also fed it the instructions from Speedway, so it can summarize those instructions for me, which it's doing here. So it's telling me to check the battery feed, which should be connected to pin 7 on my switch, and to check all the fuses. So let's go do that first. So this is the headlight switch. I've got it out. I've got the wires showing, and I'm going to try to meter these, but it's that orange wire that is, when the fuse blows, is not getting power. And that's goes to our dash, that goes to our running lights. So let's see what we can find. So this is the fuse block. These are all of the wires in the 22 circuit Speedway wiring harness that I had neatly bundled together. And then when I tested, we had problems. And so now they're no longer neatly bundled together. My mistake. Well, as I was looking around under here, I found at least one problem. You can see this is the brake light wire, and somehow it's gotten cut or nicked or something. I don't want to just wrap it with electrical tape, so I'm actually going to put a butt connector in there because I want to make sure that there are no problems. Okay, one thing I recommend if you're going to be doing any kind of rewiring is getting some good sort of crimpers, for your butt connectors, getting some good, wire strippers, because you're going to do a lot of that. And then I just bought 2 of these, which comes with all size of butt connectors, even though Speedway provides a ton of butt connectors and ring connectors and other things that you need. You just never know. So I have fixed that. So we'll see what that is. I want to test the fuse and see if the fuse is blown, the new fuse that I have, because you never know. So you want to put your meter here on the continuity tester, and then just see if it, see if it beeps. Well, it's hard to do with one hand. There we go. Okay. The fuse that I'm about to put in is good. So, yeah, I'm not sure that fixed it. That was just the first thing I saw. Might as well test it. Okay, I turned off the light so that maybe we can see that fuse blow. I'm going to turn on the key. I'm going to turn on the headlights. There it goes. Did you guys see that? Yeah, mama. Okay, well, let's keep testing. So now I've told Grok that whenever I turn on my headlights, the parking lamp fuse blows. So Grok is telling me the parking lamp fuse, usually one feeding the brown wires, which is 9A and 9B, out of my switch, which runs the parking marker lights and the running lights and the tail lights. It's Grok is good to me. It's telling me that it's a super common issue with the Speedway 22 circuit install. It tells me why it's happening or why it thinks it's happening. And then it's telling me the most likely cause. So I probably have it bad wiring at my parking lamps, or my pins are messed up on my switch. There's also on some switches an extra pin that lets you have the parking lights off when you have the headlights on, but my pin doesn't have that. So it's telling me that it's probably that or a short to ground with the running light wires, pinched or chafed brown wires somewhere. So I'm gonna have to trace the brown wires to the two front or forefront running lights and the two rear running lights. All right, so let's go see what happens. Okay, I'll show you guys. So this is, I mean, don't make fun of me for the wiper motor because we'll talk about that later. But right here, this is all of my front of the vehicle wires coming through this loom. I have an electric fan feed here, which I just ordered, and we'll put that in too. This is for the oil sending unit. Right now, someone has one of those cheap oil pressure gauges. I don't know if you could see it. They've got it kind of zip tied there, and with the plastic tube, that thing's going to blow and leak oil everywhere. So I'm going to hook that up to the dash. That's what I'm trying to do, is get the dash back together, because none of the gauges worked on this, and none of the lights, or maybe one or two of the lights. So that's why I started rewiring it. So this is the loom, and the wire, the brown wire, is my parking lights. So that's this one here. So I'm going to follow that. You can see here where I got tired and didn't want to get fancy anymore, but I'll clean this up. So all the way under here is the parking light. That's hard to see. Is the parking light, the side light. So I'll pull that apart and we'll take a look at it. So today is exposing mistakes. That's all right. We're learning this together, right? And Grok even warned me about this. So for fun, I created these, or just added these connectors, right? But as you can see, they're wide open. So if these happen to touch, it's going to short. It's going to short that 12 volt to ground, and it's going to blow that fuse. So first thing I'm going to do is wrap these with electrical tape. So don't do what I did, and make sure anytime you have these connectors, you're wrapping them with electrical tape. So let's do that. All right, so I have the other side off. The battery tray is there, so this is where the battery is. So I thought it would be easier to show you just by pulling out or easier for me to even get to by pulling off the side light. Look what I did. Look what I did. I must be some kind of genius. Look, this is power. This is the brown wire, and it's exposed. And of course, if it touches the body at all, that grounds it out. That'll ground it out and blow a fuse. Hi there, blow a fuse. These two touch together, blow, blow, blow. I don't know why I did that. So that's all right. We're all in this together. We'll figure it out. And like I said, Grok even warned me about that. I must have been in a hurry. Okay, let's wrap that in electrical tape, and maybe I'll put another fuse in. I only have 4 more fuses. They're 5 amp. So we got 4 more shots, but I don't want to have to go underneath and look at the tail light running lights because, that's all the way under the truck. And let's see if these 2 super dumb things fix it. Okay. So I've wrapped them in electrical tape. I'm not even really sure why I added those connectors, but so I've wrapped it in electrical tape. One thing I did do that's probably right is I got the cloth style electrical tape, which is, I don't know, in my experience, just much better than the rubber electrical tape. The rubber electrical tape, it tends to get sticky and rot and, hard to take off, that sort of thing. This cloth style isn't much more expensive at all. And yeah, it doesn't tend to do any of that. And I think it handles heat much better, although these are not really close to the motor. All right, you'll see I'll put this back together, but I'll take you over to the other side where you can see that I actually had these shrink wrap style connectors, but and I used them there, but I did decide to just leave bare open connectors for the side lights. I don't know why I did that. So, all right, I think it's time to test the fuse and see if this was the fix, and then I can, go beat myself up or something. I don't know. All right, let's test the fuse. All right, I can't remember if I put in a new fuse after that one blew in a spectacular fashion, but these are 5 amps, so the little wire is hard to see. I'm just going to do a continuity test to see if it's, oh, no beep, no beep, no beep. All right, I only have 4 left, so I'll put in 4. I only have 3 other tries after that, and then I've got to, do things unsafely and put in a 10 or 15 amp and just, burn my car down. It's fine. Just burn down my project vehicle. Safe. Okay, so I did put in a new fuse. I didn't video that because nobody needs to see that mess. And then this is my headlight switch. I have my meter clipped up there as ground, and this will be the test probe, so you can test it. Right now the switch is off. We'll just do the first thing, which is I'm just going to turn on the key, and then I'm going to turn on the lights, and let's see. Don't blow, don't blow, don't blow, don't blow, don't blow, don't blow, don't blow. Are you kidding me? All right, let's test the voltage here. I'll turn my meter to 20 DC volts. Let's see, the red is the hot, so that should always be 12, is, well, 11.55. That's because I'm shaky. All right, it's this orange one. It's the fused line that should be 12. Let's see. Well, if I get the probe in there. Let's see, please, 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 please. Nice. All right, let's test and see if the gray wire, which is my dash lights, that's 12 now. 12, let's see. 1151. Nice, nice. I got to charge my battery, I think, because I've been messing around blowing fuses. Nice. Are you kidding me? And then the yellow one. Test that. Can't get the probe. Oh, man. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I definitely need to charge my battery. Sweet! It looks like we have parking lights. I am the smartest man alive! No, that was dumb stuff. Okay, everybody, wrap your connectors, any bare connectors, in some electrical tape. We found the brake line, the brake lights wire was nicked. I put in a butt connector. I mean, that seems like that was a smart thing to do anyway. So now I'm going to button everything up and I'm going to go eat lunch. So thanks, Grok, for double checking my work. It didn't do that, but it did tell me and warn me to wrap all of my connectors in electrical tape. Okay, so it's going to be hard to see in the sun, but there are some rear running lights, which is good. Although the front running lights aren't working, I'll test them with the meter, or parking lights, I should say. I'll test them with the meter, and it could be the bulb. I have LED bulbs, but you know, they don't quite have the same resistance. Yeah, see, this should be working, but it's not. That bothers me a lot less because the fuse isn't blowing, and yeah, I don't know why. I'll test that. I'll test the continuity of that bulb. Again, it's got little tiny wires, so it's hard to see. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, park lights, and that side light is working, so it's definitely the bulb. All right, guys, fixed it. Sweet. Call to action. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Oops. Hey everyone, hopefully you liked the video and even some of my mistakes that I made. But hopefully you learned something about how I use Grok to help troubleshoot or even teach me how to do these things. And if you did enjoy it, please like and subscribe. Thanks a lot.